This is our altar, eh? And you know the roots of our people are strong.
The roots of our people are strong. Indigenous elder Fernie Marty is showing me Indigenous symbols in this prayer room beside a church.
With Mother Mary, of course, with our women always wore the sash. And we noticed we got some native colors on her. You know, that's how we saw her, the mother of us all.
Such beauty.
Yeah.
Here at the Sacred Heart Church of the First Peoples, located in Edmonton, Canada, the Indigenous people are welcome to integrate their heritage and culture into the parish. But for Elder Marty, when he was growing up and attending a church-run residential school, this wasn't the case. The idea was that they wanted to take away your culture, your traditions, the way you had practiced your traditions.
We were paganistic in our ways of believing and the ways we follow as Indigenous peoples. We were punished for speaking our languages. The favorite word for us back in the school days was les sauvages.
Les sauvages, what does that mean?
Savages.
Savages.
That's what they referred to us.
This church will be one of Pope Francis's key stops when he arrives in Canada on July 24th. And around an hour south of Edmonton is the rural farming community of Masquitches, and also the site of a former residential school. Now on the site, a new school has been built here, and a Catholic church, Our Lady of the Seven Sorrows. Karen Wildcat is an active member of the parish, and while she says she has good memories attending a residential school, she thinks about her younger brothers.
I know there was the boys on the other side, and my two younger brothers were on that side. So that is how I know, and I never really got to talk to them about it, really.
She never got to talk to them about it, as when they came out of school, they both became alcoholics and then passed away.
I did have a lot of sadness, anger, because I don't know how their life was in there. I've learned to just surrender everything to the Lord and let Him deal with it.
A study found that Indigenous people who went through the residential schooling system were more likely to form alcohol addiction. So Karen, what do you want to come from the Pope's visit? Like, what do you hope will be the key message or the key thing that will happen?
For a lot of healing, a lot of reconciliation. My concern is that the hurt and the anger is going to keep being passed on to our children.
You think that there is no good that can come from it being passed on from generation to generation?
To be able to accept it and move on. That is my hope.
Healing and reconciliation is what everyone wants from this papal trip. And not just the Indigenous communities, but also the Canadian Catholic Church. Archbishop Richard Smith is the national coordinator for the entire trip here in Canada. The scandals that have rocked the church here in Canada and sent shockwaves around the world, the survivors who have come out and told their stories of abuse, physical and sexual, and the beatings, how has that impacted the church and the faithful here in Canada?
Oh gosh, the word that first jumps to my mind is heartbroken. Yes, shock. Yes, rage, anger that anybody in the church, anybody who would serve another in the name of Christ would do something as horrible as this. Just leaves everybody flabbergasted and hurt and yes, heartbroken. So that has in turn, I think, fueled a real desire on the part of the church, bishops, clergy, lay faithful alike, to deal forthrightly with the issue whenever it arises, not to run from it. This is not something we could ever run from, would ever want to run from. And then say, all right, what can we do to the best of our ability to make sure these things just do not happen again? I think the other thing too we have to look at more broadly is the missionary dimension, when the church came and brought the gospel. The church will always go anywhere in the world to bring the gospel. We must do that, and we must do it joyfully and unapologetically. It is proclaiming Jesus Christ. And because of that, many good things were done. We can't forget that. Many, many good things were done. The early missionaries that came here to Western Canada, for example, they immersed themselves in the lives of the indigenous peoples. They understood the beauty of the culture. They understood the importance of linguistic preservation. They created dictionaries. So a lot of great good took place, and we can't forget that. We can't allow it either, though, to whitewash some mistakes that were made.
This is a problem for many Indigenous Catholics. On one hand, hearing the terrible stories that others had to go through, and then on the other hand, comparing that to their own happy memories from their time in residential schools. And the feathers in the back?
Feathers, yeah.
Wow. Elder Lawrence lives outside of Edmonton and is showing me a special picture of him meeting Pope John Paul II in 1982 when he was representing his Indigenous community at the Vatican.
So, he was giving me rosaries.
Lawrence is one of those people who is finding it difficult to comprehend the stories that have come to light in recent years.
You wouldn't believe it. I went to school when I was 9 years old.
That's when you started school?
That's when I started school. I have a hard time grasping what they're talking about. Never really experienced anything really bad there. And so many years gone by, I just can't put it together.
What do you hope this visit of Pope Francis will do for the faithful in Canada and for the Indigenous communities?
The way I see it, those people that mistreated us, I'll just say us, and didn't treat us right, we're all gone. So they're the ones that should be
Apologizing to you.
apologizing to us.
What is clear is that there is still so much pain and suffering in the aftermath of how some people were treated in these residential schools, and the Church and Canadian government will have to continue to take responsibility for that. But the people here are hoping that this visit of Pope Francis and the expected apology will help draw a line in the sand and help those who need it to heal.
We've had apartheid here. We've had the Holocaust. The same thing, same experiences Indigenous peoples had here in this country. Same thing happened to us here.
With so much hurt and pain from those memories at the residential schools, what is this visit now of Pope Francis going to do? What will it mean for the Indigenous people here in Canada?
This is where the traumas, the experiences, the negative experiences happen here in this country. This is where it needs to be addressed. I'm grateful that he made that apology in Rome. However, I think it's much more meaningful he makes it here on Canadian soil, because this is where it happened. But for me, it'd be an honor to meet a man of his stature, and even if I don't say anything, to shake his hand. That to me would be a tremendous gift for my own personal healing journey and continue on. That's how I see it.
In Edmonton, Canada, Colm Flynn, EWTN News.